We are monitoring developments in the nation's capital, where the Federal High Court has adjourned the trial of leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, to 6th, 7th, and 8th of May for continuation of hearing. At today's hearing, an officer of the DSS who arrested Nnamdi Kanu in 2015 told the court that when Mr. Kanu was arrested, no instrument of violence was found on him. Mr. AAA, the federal government's first witness under cross-examination, admitted that when Mr. Kanu was interviewed in 2015, his lawyer was absent. Mr. AAA agreed that those items now tendered as exhibits before the court are no longer of value. At the last hearing on Tuesday, the court granted the request for the witnesses to testify behind screen due to security reasons. Our senior reporter, Celestina Ria, joins me on the news for more updates. Celestina, what more can you tell us about hearing in the case involving leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu?
Oh, well, about today, so far so good. The trial is going on very smoothly. And considering the evidences given by the first prosecution witness today, so far, nothing incriminating has been found against the indigenous, the leader of IPOB, which is Nnamdi Kanu. So we don't know what is to come as the proceedings continues. And we don't know for sure how many witnesses the federal government is going to call. This is just the first witness, and he was cross-examined today by counsel to Nnamdi Kanu, Kanu Agabi, and wherein he made some findings that the way Nnamdi Kanu was interviewed without his lawyer present, that most of the items that were seized or collected from him in 2015 have no value anymore because it's over 10 years. But Justice James Omotosho told Kanu Agabi, which is counsel to Nnamdi Kanu, to come by way of application before the court seeking the release of some of those items, wristwatches, gold chains and necklaces, and see if Mr. Kanu can peradventure sell them and get something out of it. But so far so good, they have no importance. So it won't be of any good for either the prosecution or the defendant for those items to still remain in the custody of the court, because now they are exhibits. So the court adjourned to 6th, 7th, and 8th for continuation of trial. So the conclusion of the cross-examination of the first witness to be done, and the second prosecution witness to be called.
All right. You mentioned a while ago that it's unclear how many witnesses the prosecution would be calling. But does it appear that the others might also enjoy this liberty to testify behind screens?
Yes, definitely, because this is the position the court has taken, and it was because of the application filed by the federal government lawyer saying that to protect the identity and the life of the witnesses, they should testify behind the screen. The prosecution first witness, which the court named Mr. AA to protect his identity, testified behind the screen, and when he even walked up to the dock where he was shielded, he wore a mask. So, but basically, one thing is important: the defendant, which is Nnamdi Kanu, can actually see the witness, but the person, he or she, is shielded from the floor of the court, which are other lawyers and also litigants and journalists. But the defendant, Nnamdi Kanu, can see whoever the prosecution witness is. And this is the first witness. He is a DSS officer. He was among those that arrested Mr. Kanu in 2015, where he was interviewed, and also he said...
All right, lovers of freedom, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You're welcome to this YouTube channel. You know, this is the only YouTube channel where you get to get your legit information. That is raw data regarding what is actually happening in Biafra land. That is the war between the Biafran Liberation Army and the Zoo Army of Nigeria. Now, this is also where you get your legit information regarding what is actually happening in Finland. That is the case between the Finnish authorities and the Zoo country called Nigeria, the sinking government called Nigeria. Look at a whole Tinubu. You are going to Castina because you want to go and commission one useless project, but you cannot travel to Jos and sympathize with Christians that lost their brothers and sisters. You have not come out openly as a president and condemn these Fulani headsmen. You have not come out, no official statement from you regarding the too much killings by this particular tribe called Fulani. No statement from you. And this is a country you want us, the Biafrans, to keep staying with you. Every Biafran needs to wake up now. This is the best time for us to speak out. This is the best time for us to let the whole world realize what is actually happening in the zoo country called Nigeria. The only solution to Nigerian problem is division. So my people, I'll be playing more video of what is actually happening in the court. You can see they are bringing their testifiers that are saying rubbish about our movement, that are saying rubbish about our freedom. So many of them. How can you bring in somebody to testify? Somebody that is covering his face. You will cover your face and come and testify in court that IPOP have done this one to you, IPOP have done that one to you. So if you are just joining us now, you can check back our previous videos, then you understand what we're talking about. You understand why we, the Biafrans, will continue to agitate. So I'll be playing more videos now. So do well to subscribe and react to all these videos in the comment section. Now stay tuned as you listen.
There is no time. Any Biafran who is eligible to travel to Helsinki, Finland, and you are not willing to go, not that you are not able to go, but you are not willing to go. One, if you are not willing to go because it's not coming from whoever you are following. One, if and tomorrow you say you love Mazi Simon Eba. Oh yeah, puta kwa. Oh yeah, fa puta. Oh puta resort abo. Resort yabo. And I want to remind you, no kwasonso onyori, onye na-egbu mmadụ, onye ọjọọ bụ onye ọ na-abaka kpali ya. Ndị otu ya gbali ọsọ, ndị otu ya ya na-eri na-aṅụ anarie. Nobody will show face because onye puta ebuli ya at the same time. E puta ejide gi because onye abụ onye ọjọọ. So if the Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa, is arrested in Finland and Biafrans will desert him, the Igbo gbala onye na-azọfa ndụ ọsọ ebe ọ nọ na nsogbu. I don't know how you reason. All of you waiting for your master or whoever you are following to give you order to go. I don't know how you reason. Aka ji onye kpọrọ your love, your master, onye ihu pụrụ ya na-azọghị ndụ. Aka akpali ya. Then I'm not for protest. You know, it has to come from a certain individual. It has to come from a certain group of people. I don't know how you reason. At the end of the day, you did not hear anything from that certain individual you are waiting for. What are you going to tell our Prime Minister when he finally comes out? What are you going to tell Biafrans that you did not attend when you have opportunity to do so? So my people, the time is now. We must stand in solidarity with our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa. Don't wait for anybody, or you may not receive any order from anybody to attend or to, participate. You may not receive it now. Stand up now. Stand up for him now. Now is the time. We need to send message to Finnish authority that the man you are holding is innocent. Nobody for he is a man who is fighting for the freedom of his own people. So we must stand in solidarity with him, show to Finland that he is innocent. And our message will definitely be delivered to the relevant authority for the unconditional and immediate release of our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa. So the inquiry number is on your screen. Inquiry number for Finland protest for the release of Mazi Simon Ekpa. Please call +358 40 6561. This is the official number. Nobody's asking you to pay any money. You can go that same day and go back to your destination that same day, as the protest is only but 1 hour 30 minutes. So my people, please, if you need any detail or inquiry, kindly call this very number. Everything that you need will be sorted out. Thank you. Let us go back into the news. So according to Wikipedia, Solomon Selkab-Dalung is a Nigerian lawyer, academic and politician who served as the Minister of Youth and Sports of Nigeria from November 2015 to May 2019. He has served in the Nigerian Prison Service, the University of Jos as a lecturer, and as chairman of Langtan South Local Government in Plateau State. This is coming from Wikipedia. Plateau State. I will tell you the reason why he is now talking, because so many of you will say, but if he's still a member of APC, or if he was even a member of APC, why would he expose them? Listen, he started exposing them because he can no longer keep quiet. What he's saying now is something that he has already known from beginning. You understand? He knows. But because on abu ebulu zoom madonaga or the bugunko on because it has not happened to him. It has not been happening in his hometown. That's why he has been taking it for granted. Right now, it's happening in his own village. He has now beginning to speak. He is now speaking because the Fulanis are wreaking havoc in his village, slaughtering innocent people, taking over their ancestral homes. That is the reason why a founding father of APC terrorist organization is now speaking. Are you paying attention? Because those that they brought in to usurp Jonathan Ebele Goodluck in 2015 have turned to something else against the indigenous people. They no one go again. The agreement don't fail. So now it's happening in his own village, and he is now running around like headless chicken, calling APC. Now let's continue. Born 26 September 1964, age 60 years, Plateau, Nigeria. Pay attention. Education, University of Jos, Main Campus, the Nigerian Law School. The Nigerian Law School. Then Party, All Progressive Congress. Party, All Progressive Congress, meaning that he is still a member of the terrorist organization All Progressive Congress, APC. Are you paying attention? He is still, because this is today's, information about this man all along. Not yesterday, is about today. And you are going to hear him mention his age in the video, 60 years. So this is today. I am the one who extracted this information from Wikipedia. This is his current position as APC member. Now look at it. Previous office, Minister of Youth and Sports of Nigeria from 2015 to 2019. So I don't want to talk anything because the video is long. So I want you to pay attention. Watch the video from beginning till the very end of it. And make it go viral.
Understood that we either come together collectively and fight, or we also die collectively as fools. This is just basically what is the motivating drive there. If you look at the state of insecurity, its dynamics, and how it's been spreading across the country. So we needed Nigerians to know that, look, the state with its apparatus seems to be interested more in protecting themselves and not the people. And the people cannot just fold their arms and surrender to a few group of criminals carrying arms, with government conveniently renaming them with one nomenclature to the other. So that is basically it. For Nigerians to trust me, it's basically left for Nigeria. Nigerians have been living here. So they know me very well. Whether of the 60 years I have lived, the 4 years of participation in Buhari's government outweighs the remaining 56 years is left for Nigerians to assess. But that will not preclude me from raising alarm when it is clear that eminently my country is facing great challenge, and I should draw the attention of Nigerians. So the issue of integrity it is left for the people to decide. Trust is an asset. If they believe that I'm worthy of trusting it and doing it, they will. But then we are all humans. Otherwise, nobody would have made it. It is clear in all religions. If you know you are wrong, you admit and apologize. And I've done that as a human being. I'm not a perfect being. Neither am I intelligent.
Mr. Dalon, so let's get to the nitty-gritty of some of the issues that are facing the country. I was listening to the Minister of Aviation yesterday, and he was talking about the fact that under this administration, more monies have been given to the subnationals, and I agree with him, that's a fact. And that is simple, and there's a cost to that as well. So the federal government has stopped paying subsidy for PMS, has stopped subsidizing FX, has also stopped partly subsidizing electricity. So all of that should have been channeled either directly or indirectly to that cause is now funneled into the federation account, which is shared among the subnationals and the federal government and the state government, or the federation in that sense. So there's generally more money And some governors are even saying now that they've not borrowed since they came into office. And they've also talked about the fact that our debt to revenue ratio usually was about 90-something percent, about 96, 98. Now it's about 68. So that 30%, that chunk of that, the management of that fund is now plowed back into the economy to build some of the things they are building. But the argument is, for those who understand economics will know that more money doesn't mean development in that sense.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about some things that are low-hanging fruits, that no matter the projection that this government has in terms of their policy direction, if it's not sorted, all of the effort of the president is going to go to waste, and that's a fact. It's just a matter of time you get to see. Number one, and I want to take them in steps, I want you to speak about fighting corruption, because if somebody is allegedly corrupt and he sees more money, he steals. If you give him more money, he will steal more money. So let's talk about the effort at fighting corruption from where you sit under this administration. Are you seeing that effort to really fight corruption? The president has said that his own effort at fighting corruption maybe is to increase wages of workers and all of that. Well, that is his own argument. But talk about the effort at fighting corruption, because there's corruption everywhere. The federal, the state, security, civil service is everywhere, and it's eating deep into our fabric.
The best method of fighting corruption is exemplary leadership. If the leader, by his conduct, represents taste, people will believe him, and everybody in the society will queue and begin to behave like the leader. So this government is very honest and modest with words. Their effort is just enabling corruption. Because I say this with references to the conduct, behavior, and attitude of those who hold positions in government. There was a time the Senate president was announcing a recess in the Senate, and he told them, "I'm going to send some thing into your account." And when he realized that the mic was on, he changed and said, "Oh, I'm going to send you emails." I mean, 250 million Nigerians, very intelligent, hardworking, brilliant people, good people, sweet souls. He will just take us to be a community of buffoons. So, to me, I don't see much effort. I only see more efforts in enabling corruption. And if you look at the abuse of procurement processes by this administration, they are holding a contract of 1.7 or thereabout trillion without proper procurement procedures from the comfort of your bedroom and to a friend with a family member who is a director in the company. This is not even different from what has happened under President Nnamdi, where the accountant general, who is supposed to be the custodian of the funds of the peoples of Nigeria, in one transaction made away with 109 billion. Until today, the man has been rewarded with the traditional title. So I don't see any effort as such, because the lifestyle of people in government who are calling Nigerians to sacrifice does not at all depict sacrifice. They live large, they live lavishly, while Nigerians languish in hunger and poverty. So corruption has won the battle. Corruption has triumphed, and I'm afraid even we discussing corruption now, corruption may visit us immediately. So it takes some courage and risks for you to talk about it. In future, I foresee a situation where for you to be appointed, I mean, your CV must contain corruption capacity before you will be appointed if nothing is done.
Let's talk about about the security challenge now. And again, I'd like you to, reflect on matters arising within the context of what is happening, particularly with response to this challenge. First of all, on the one hand, politicians are not agreed on the identity of those who are perpetrating, these crimes in Nigeria's North Central, your state, home state Plateau, and Benue State. We've heard, a member of the cabinet in Benue State identifying, telling us here that, these people are herders, and he identified them with specificity. But the governor spoke later on our own program, our sister political program, saying that these people are foreign, are of foreign extraction. What's your own theory about the identities of the people, the criminal elements who are causing havoc in these states in Nigeria? And what would be your assessment of the governor's explanation? Have they been forthright in bringing the federal government to account with regards to responding with manpower and equipment to tackle these challenges, those two issues?
If we want to be honest with the identity of, the new wave of criminality, which is terrorism, that has existential potentials and genocidal intentions, we'll have to go back and take a great study at the popular speech of Baraje, the former National Secretary of APC, who confessed on his 70th birthday that in the build-up to 2015, the APC imported mercenaries into Nigeria to facilitate its victory. Now, that was the National Secretary of the party. He had more knowledge about what happened more than every other person. Even myself, as a founding member of the party, I didn't know that much until that public outburst. So if you pick his statement and then you align it, you now adopt a deeper critical analysis of the statement of Governor Alia and some of the statements of people from the platform, what I have most said as a person, you will form consensus along the line of there will be a conference of ideas that basically those who are attacking our people are foreign mercenaries. They may have identities from what we hear from our local people, looking like some indigenous communities in Nigeria, especially the Fulanis, but they speak, the languages they speak are too exotic to the Nigerian ethnic phyla. So basically, we are dealing with a more complex terrorism that, if you look at their pattern of attacks, is so advanced and is intended to wipe completely the human community of their ancestral lands and completely take over. And the governor of Plateau State has given us a hint to it when he said there are over 64 communities currently under their control. So I think I agree more with the governor, and I don't want to join the complicity of trying to reduce it to communal or farmer-herder clashes. Those elements may exist, but they are microscopic. Then back to the roles of the chief executives of the subnational governments. Disappointingly too, they have not lived up to their expectations. Majority of them spend their time in Abuja. They only go back to their states when there is any problem. So they are more or less like cosmopolitan chief executives living in Abuja and then ruling by proxy. And this is the reason why insecurity has been escalating. So when you take what was the first question, the monies from the proceeds of the fuel subsidy flowing to the subnational governments, and then without any meaningful impact, but with poverty and hunger, insecurity rising astronomically, you will come to a conclusion that the subnational government cannot be exonerated from the failure, which is now the chorus on the mouths of most Nigerians. There are low-hanging fruits that the subnational governments can harvest to try to augment the situation. Fighting poverty must not be an issue of the federal government. The states should have dealt with the issue of poverty. The states would have run their economies in a manner that will put food and bring succor to their people. So,
Mr. DeLong, because of time, if I may butt in, my apologies. So let's stay with that issue of security for a bit, which you have talked about. Everybody has to take responsibility, including the sub-nationals. But as my colleague Bukola has said about even identifying who is responsible, is a political conversation in that sense. On one hand, we've had a conversation within the same government of Benue. One is saying is suspected headers of Fulani ethnic nationalities, the criminal elements of that header group. The governor is saying, no, they are foreigners, maybe from somewhere else. So there's a lot of inconsistency and contradiction wherever you look. There are people that have said that it's a bit more complicated than with ink. But there's something that seems to be the common thread here, what the intention is of these people. So from where you sit and what you know, what is really the intention? Some are saying it's annihilation, some are saying it's ethnic cleansing, some are saying it's land grabbing, all kinds of people. What exactly are these people looking for?
Reviewing their activities, pattern of attacks, identity, and aligning it with experiences of other places, I have come to the conclusion that these criminals and mercenaries brought to grab land, so they will exterminate the ancestral communities. These lands are taken, and for what purpose will the land be taken? The land will be taken for economic activities. If you look at just Plateau of recent, there is a rising profile of artisanal mining by local people. So the rich mineral deposit in those areas, especially the Bokos axis, where you have rich forest reserve, the land itself is also rich in minerals. Of course, these people are just enablers of a larger conspiracy to eliminate the people, take over their lands, and the mining activities will continue like what is obtainable in Zamfara now. So for me, that basically appears to be. And why has little attention not given to this? Because of the complicity of the political elites. Because if you look at their explanation now, I mean, within the same government, they are double speaking about the identities of these criminals, when we know as a fact from available evidence that they are mercenaries and they are not indigenous Fulani, because the pattern of their attack, which is genocidal, they work everything on the face of the earth, everything living.
So, Mr. DeLong,
and take over the place.
If that is the case, and as you have said, that you cannot absolve the governors of, incapacity to tackle this, what then is the option left to the, locals, the indigenes in these areas, in terms of defending themselves? And for the executives at the subnationals, is it as a result of lethargy or, political expediency that they are unable to be forthright with the federal government about what the real needs of security are in their domain. Because if the police only go to the areas where these crimes have been committed, to carry the dead bodies, then there is a